At the time of this recording, it's currently the first international break of the season, and Manchester United are ninth place in the league table after losing their first league game of the season to Arsenal, going on to draw against Fulham away and winning against Burnley due to an added time penalty. In between those last two games against Fulham and Burnley, we managed to lose to Grimsby Town in the first round of the League Cup on penalties. So I'm kinda in a very weird place, as I'm sure most United fans are as well. It seems we're simultaneously doing absolutely terribly, while also showing some minute signs of progress. And that sentiment seems to permeate through most facets of the team and the surrounding. Going into the season, firstly, there was very much a need for not only new recruits, but also getting rid of some of the deadwood that was in the club. And I think I would grade our transfer window probably a 6 or 7 out of 10, to be fair. Our marquee signings were Matheus Cunha from Wolverhampton Wanderers, Brian Mbeumo from Brentford, and Benjamin Sesko from RB Leipzig, which signaled us buying a brand new front line. We also secured Diego Leon from Cerro Porteño and Senna Lemens, our new goalkeeper from Royal Antwerp, which, in my opinion, that being our last signing of the season, considering where we were at with Onana for large portions of the last season, is an immense oversight, and I'm just hoping it works out. In terms of what we were able to get rid of, I think we did probably just as good. We managed to sell Anthony permanently to Real Betis, Alejandro Garnacho to Chelsea, Rashford is on loan at Barcelona, and Sancho is on loan at Aston Villa. We released Lindelof, but he's also at Aston Villa, and of course, the man himself, waiting on his miracle to come. 3 seasons into his Manchester United career, Rasmus Højlund was shipped off to Napoli on loan. And I think in some ways that transfer window was probably an indication of how the season would progress. Yes, a lot of positives, but still not where you would want it to be for a team that needs a lot of change over a very, very short period of time. But still, as I said, I would give it a 7 out of 10. Now, going into the season, there was, based on the transfers, there was some semblance of, I would say, optimism, which was kind of quickly, was just simultaneously quickly shut down, but also energized by the Arsenal game, where we had 22 shots in comparison to their 9 and generated a 1.52 XG in comparison to their 1.31, and really only lost due to our best friend, it seems, conceding on set pieces. We have not figured that out at all. We've conceded so many set pieces over the last, especially 3 to 4 years, it feels, under Ten Hag and Amorim, and that trend has continued this season. We're so bad at it. Fulham was pretty lukewarm in terms of performance, but I still feel we had enough to beat them. We just didn't. And then Grimsby was, and you dive into the depths of despair of being a Manchester United fan. We had 26 shots. Of course, it's a League 2 team, creating only 4 big chances. But due to our dear old friend again, Andre Onana, and set piece fragility, we managed to go to penalties against them and lose 12-11. And in Burnley, we generated our highest XG of the season at 3.63 and had 26 shots. But again, due to wastefulness in front of goal and our poor defending, we almost dropped points yet again. So, transfer window done. First 3 games in sort of a litmus test of where the season could go. Not too many encouraging signs, but also not completely bleak. due mostly to the fact of a few individual performances that I quite like. I think so far, if we were going to give a Player of the Season award after the first 4 games, I'd probably give it to either Delit or Lenny Euro. I think defensively, they both have been really good in most of the work that they're doing. They've saved us countless goals already, it seems. And I really like that because in my ideal Manchester United team, they form 2/3 of that back three, with, of course, Martinez, if he's able to come back at any point this season. Also, Mbuemo, as a new signing, has been bright, along with Cunha. And Mount, for me, is also up there. Not really contributing, but Amorim said a few months back, and I think when he just took the job, that Mount understands the system better than probably all of the players in it. And I think it's showing this season, him playing that kind of like false 9 role, which I still would want Sesko to play. But if Mount is playing good, I have no problem seeing him start as long as we're winning games. And so, with the transfer window, first couple of games down, and looking at the players and the system, which, as it seems, Amorim is never going to change. It's going to be that same 3-4-2-1. He's going to live and die by it. If it works, it works. If it doesn't work, he's getting sacked. He doesn't care. It seems that this is a perfect time to kind of look back at where we've been coming from for the last 10 so years. It's almost unfair and extremely short-sighted that every single time we bring in a new manager, we constantly forget that we have been shit for so long, and we just automatically want one person with 1 or 2 transfer windows in a brand new league where they're barely spread, in a brand new league in some of cases where they probably just picked up the language and are just understanding the culture, to miraculously just make it work and just make us as good as Sir Alex Ferguson did, who people seem to forget did not hit the ground running. If Sir Alex Ferguson was a modern Manchester United manager, he'd be sacked within his first 2 or 3 seasons. It's not all they make it seem like it was just his perfect figure. No, he made mistakes early on in his career at Manchester United, and we stuck with him and we reaped the rewards. But we just seem to have this short-sighted, narrow-minded concept of what success means, and it's killing us every single time we change managers. And after a while, as a fan, for me personally, seeing this never-ending cycle of new managers coming in, trying to implement fresh new ideas but getting shut down because the results aren't coming, gets disheartening, because it's disheartening on 2 fronts. It's, yes, I also want the results, but I also want to give people chances to make mistakes and to learn and to grow and then build that concept. None of the managers and teams that are in front of us perennially, Klopp, now Arne Slot at Liverpool, or Pep, or even Arteta, or even someone like Oliver Glasner or Thomas Frank at Brentford, they didn't just get up one day and make this team work. It took a process. It took time. And I feel we don't afford ourselves that time as a fan base and as a club. And if we continue at this rate, this season will be another drop in the bucket of dog shit that we've been producing for the last 10 years. So with that being said, my prediction is that Manchester United win the league and the FA Cup easily. 100-point season, like obviously. But seriously, if I'm being honest, it's probably a 6th place, clinch the Europa League, and best case scenario, an FA Cup semi-finals. But otherwise, yeah, no. It's a collector's item!